What happens in the darkness will soon come to light, and it is right now as we are speaking. The IMF, World Bank, One World Government pushing shadowy billionaire liberal manipulator George Soros has been hacked. More than 2,500 files from his organization, the Open Society, which is run by billionaire George Soros, have been leaked by hackers on the DC Leaks webpage, just waiting to be combed through right now. The files are grouped into sections such as geographical regions, the World Bank, and the President's Office, and cover the period from 2008 up until 2016. They reveal work plans, strategies, priorities, and other activities by George Soros and include reports on the European elections, migration, and asylum inside of Europe. You could actually see the leaks right now personally yourself by going to dcleaks.com. The link will be in the description below. dcleaks.com, in their mission statement, they say, quote, "We believe U.S. citizens have the right to know how domestic and foreign policy of the United States are shaped and who the real policy makers are." And George Soros is definitely one of those influential elitist members who not only buy elections but also make major important decisions. They also say in their mission statement, quote, "Our aim is to find out and tell you the truth about U.S. decision-making processes as well as about the key elements of American political life." Now, of course, Bloomberg and the establishment, they are trying to save face, and instead of addressing these hacks, instead of addressing these leaks, the establishment mainstream media like Bloomberg are just saying it was Russia. Just concentrate on Russia. Don't concentrate on these hackers. It's Russia. Even though DC Leaks has revealed previous emails from the NATO secretary himself, Philip Breedlove, which showed him provoking, egging on, demanding that President Obama start a U.S. conflict against Russia. These are the important documents that they're showing because these spy games, these hacks and leaks go back and forth between the two countries. But in the United States, we are not getting the full picture because when George Soros personally finances the release and curates the release of the Panama Papers, the major hack that happened just a few months ago that was financed and curated by George Soros himself and his Open Society and his organizations, as well as other organizations tied to the US government, when they released information about Vladimir Putin, about Russia, about Syria, about all the other enemies of US foreign policy, the mainstream media didn't talk about who actually did the hack. They just talked about the hack, which is the most important aspect of what's happening right now, but you won't hear on the mainstream media because of divisive geopolitical foreign policy by the establishment. Now, just to understand who George Soros is, he recently wrote an article saying that Putin is a bigger threat to Europe's existence than ISIS. You could just see how benevolent George Soros is to ISIS, the radical Islamic terrorist group that the United States financed and helped grow inside of Syria to get rid of Muammar Gaddafi and helped try to overthrow Bashar al-Assad inside of Syria. These radical Islamic terrorists who have been committing countless numbers of terrorist attacks inside of Europe, George Soros doesn't see them as big of a threat as Putin. You could see how senile, you could see how hell-bent he is on revenge against Putin and Russia, and how clairvoyant he is not. George Soros is the main one pushing for refugees inside of Europe. He is pushing for the transgenders movement. He is the major financer of the liberal leftist Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton agenda. As previous WikiLeaks emails show, how he was giving marching orders telling Hillary Clinton what to do when she was the Secretary of State, running the State Department, deciding foreign policy of the United States. This is the man. These emails, these leaks prove that he is the man behind the curtain pulling the strings, not only with billions of dollars financing elections, but purely manipulating where the United States goes with their foreign policy. His son is just as influential. Here on his own Instagram page, he brags about catching dinner with Tim Kaine. He's hanging out with Hillary Clinton. I mean, look at, oh God. Excuse me. Hairball. He's bragging about how he's hanging out with Barack Obama, who stopped in, who as president of the United States during his busy schedule decided to personally visit Alex Soros at his own home, which shows you just the pure influence these people they have. There's also a list showing you all the George Soros non-government organizations, NGOs, and how they are manipulating elections inside of Europe. The hacks are revealing the true power behind this liberal push, this liberal agenda behind Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and it was no one other than the one world government pushing George Soros. Subscribe. We're going to have a lot more content coming here your way, especially when these revelations come to light, especially when all of you and all of us and independent media go online and are able to curate, are able to go through all these hacks. We will fully understand what they mean and their larger implications. Stay tuned. We're going to be covering that and a lot more on youtube.com/WeAreChange. Support us on Patreon, because if you don't, no one else will. We are here on a mission to give you the news that the mainstream media will never do, and we are here to destroy them by doing their job better than they could ever do, and we can only do that with your support. $1 a month goes a long way and means the world to us. Support us on patreon.com/WeAreChange, and this is unfiltered, uncensored, real independent media. Get it here, share it with your friends, because if you don't, no one else will. Thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe.